My name is Lucas North. I guard the solitary sector of the Bryant International Correctional Station, a place where humanity's worst see out their days in relentless solitude, surrounded by cold steel. Hundreds of lost souls, banished from Earth, adrift in the cosmic void. They aren't returning home, and neither am I. Not for another 3 years. There's a simplicity to this job. The inmates of solitary confinement are just numbers behind locked doors. I walk the halls, keys at my belt, radio in my hand, day in and day out. Some guards, they relish the control, the dominance. They revel in the suffering and misery they can inflict upon the inmates. I'm not like them. I crave silence, tranquility. I yearn for my old life, the life I had with her. It was a routine shift, uneventful, monotonous. Another day lost in the echo of locked doors and absent voices. I let my thoughts wander. Her image filled my mind, a phantom warmth in the cold vacuum of space. She was back there, grounded on Earth, tethered to my heart, yet hundreds of miles away. My radio buzzed, a harsh reminder of my reality. Distress call, the cafeteria, chaos, violence. The inmates are rioting. There's something in the voice of the officer on the call. It was unsettling. It was abnormal. Fear. Terror. My heart thumped in my chest, a drum beating the rhythm of some ancient war song. A riot. Here, in Ultramax, a nightmare scenario. No retreating, just move, run. The corridors flew past in a gray blur, the distant hum of machinery drowned by my frantic heartbeat. The radio screeched again, more voices, more terror. The cafeteria was close, and Earth felt far away. I left the solitary sector, stepping out onto the upper-level walkway that overlooks the cafeteria. The sight stopped me dead. Unrelenting carnage, a spectacle of savagery. The inmates moved with a predatory aggression, ferocious, settling old scores with a sinister focus. The brutality was unchecked, but not uncontrolled. This wasn't mindless anarchy. It was something else. The guard who made the distress call was crumpled in a corner. His fight was over. A red light burned over the exit door. Red, not green. Locked. No exit. I was trapped with the predators. I backtracked to the solitary sector, locking the door behind me. Tried the radio. Control station. No answer. Engineering. Silence. Admin. Nothing. My heart hammered in my chest, a wild and untamed rhythm. The solitary sector felt alien now, a lonely island amidst the storm of chaos. My radio vibrated. It was Jansen, a familiar voice, a comrade. We had been rookies together in this godforsaken place. He spoke fast. Nearly everyone had turned. His theory was chilling. A virus, a pathogen. There were too many affected, too fast. It didn't add up. I asked why the turrets hadn't been activated. The defense turrets were brutal, efficient. They'd cut down any riot in seconds. No mercy, no questions. Jansen didn't know. Nobody knew. He was holed up in a utility room near the medical bay. A hatch there would lead out of the Ultramax. My only shot. He wished me luck and signed off. I was on my own again. All I had now was the hope of an escape, a thin path out of a sprawling nightmare. The screams lingered, unhinged, ravenous. They churned my gut, made my skin crawl. But a steel door separated us. For now. Time crawled. Maybe an hour, maybe more. I soaked in the chaos, my back against the door's icy metal. Every thud, every roar, a reminder of the hell outside. My radio buzzed. A message. It was the Global Corrections Corporation. The suits. They ran the show. Ran the prison. Ran me. The message was cold. Clinical. No comfort. No solutions. Just words. An automated dispatch. Acknowledgement of the crisis. Couldn't assist. Danger levels escalating. inmates uncontrollable. In other words, I was on my own. The corporation. I know them, know how they think. They'll lock it down, isolate us, let us shred each other. Then, days later, when all's quiet, they'll send a crew to mop up the blood, tally the bodies, reboot. I won't be one of those bodies. I can't. I've got 3 years left. 3 years till Earth, till I see her face again. I won't die here. The hatch. I needed to get there. Waiting is a death sentence. But running, alone, that's suicide. Hundreds of infected between me and the hatch. Not a chance. I paced the solitary sector. Tiny cells, steel doors, men worse than animals behind them. But men nonetheless. Alive. Not turned. Not yet. A thought. A terrible, desperate thought. I could let them out. They could help. They could fight. I was a guard. They were inmates. But now we were just survivors. The thought raged in my mind, like the screams outside. I looked at the cell doors, the keys on my belt. There was no choice. It was this or death. I singled out 4 inmates. Petrov, a Russian ex-mobster, his eyes cold but clear. Dumont, the stone-faced, murderous Frenchman. Lee, the wiry Chinese drug lord. And Smith, a mountain of a man, his sins as colossal as his form. Dangerous men, all of them. Their crimes filled volumes. Each had earned their stay in solitary. But unlike the inmates below, they weren't infected. These men were brutal, ruthless, but not insane. They were my best shot. One by one, I laid out our predicament. Work with me for a chance at freedom, or languish here and await a certain death. My words were met with anger, hostility, then a grudging acceptance. Enemies turned allies. I unlocked their cells, each metallic clank echoing through the tense silence. I sketched the route in my notebook. Cafeteria, rec yard, medical bay. A simple plan on paper. In reality, a death march. We left solitary behind, tension heavy in the air. From our perch on the top floor, the cafeteria below was a haunting still life. No more roars, no more screams. The infected were gone, prowling other parts of the pod, locations unknown. The notion chipped away at my nerves. Weapons. We needed weapons. Firearms were forbidden, but from the fallen guards, we gathered nightsticks. Blunt force against rabid madness. The act of arming the very inmates I'd once caged twisted my gut, but their hope of escape was tethered to me. I was their ticket out, and for now that bought me a fragile sense of safety. We moved, 5 shadows navigating a field of death. Nightsticks in hand, we reached the ground floor, the exit in sight. A breath of relief threatened to escape my lips. Then came the noise, shuffling, mad laughter, a symphony of deranged euphoria from the hallway. My heart stopped. 6 figures appeared, eyes manic, smiles cruel. Infected. They had found us. Fury descended. The infected were relentless, savage. Their minds decayed. Their madness gave them power, but also a weakness. They were blinded by rage. They didn't plan, didn't strategize, didn't think. It was pure instinct that drove them, a silver lining in a sea of chaos. I was in the thick of it. Fists, clubs, every punch, every swing, a desperate plea for survival. Visions of carnage flickered in and out. Dumont, frantic, screaming. Smith, the Titan, an avatar of wrath. Chaos ebbed and flowed like a vicious tide. Then, silence, but not peace. The end of one nightmare, the start of another. 3 stood where 5 had been. Dumont and Lee, extinguished. The infected lay still, a grim mosaic of blood and viscera, but no time for mourning. no time for rest. We pushed on. The rec yard awaited us down the long, dim corridor. Another battle to fight. Another step towards salvation.